Okay, quick little video here to answer a couple questions. One of them is people ask about plugging into, it's all in the category of keeping it simple, and that's what I do now. And I've come full circle. I've had the complete fully contained or self-contained mobile unit, the full water tank, pressure washer, hose reel, generator, the works. Now I have no employees virtually. They're part-timers. Half the time I'm just working by myself. I had a shop at one time. I had 4 crews going out servicing the cars all over Orange County, blah blah blah. Anyhow, so back in the day when I first started, I was highly insecure of my abilities and so forth. So I thought that plugging into a person's power and water would look unprofessional. Now I don't care, but I can have the luxury of not caring because I've been in the business, and I'm just going to keep walking and talking here. I've been in the business so long where, you know, I can talk the talk because I know how to walk the walk, as the saying goes. So with that said, is yes, I don't carry water with me. I do have a generator. Like today I'm going to do a car debadging, as it's officially called, and I've got my, and I'll walk over here and show you very quickly because people have asked about this, my Honda generator. It is a EU 2000, and if you're gonna spend money on a generator, Honda, thumbs up. They are workhorses, they're quiet. This generator will power a buffer. It will power my vacuum cleaner. I think I've forced it to power 2 things at once, but you have to remember you have startup power, which is more significant than just operating or running power. So that's a whole nother can of worms, but Honda, thumbs up. That's the particular generator that I use. Many guys will overkill it and they'll think bigger is better. And to me, it's kind of a level of overcompensating where it's like, oh, if I have the better or the biggest power washer, the biggest generator, the bigger van, then certainly I'm going to look more professional. So that's my little sidebar. Now with maintenance detailing, I'm working on the silver convertible Maserati. I see this car every 6 weeks. So as a rule, because I've been asked this question many times, how do you break it down? How do I do the actual detail, Darren? So as a rule, I start with the inside. The trunk is part of the inside in my opinion. So I always start with the trunk and I move from rear to front. So I do the trunk, get that done. I go on the inside and I move the seats. Now this is a coupe and it does have actually a back seat. So whether this is a 2-door, which it is, or a 4-door matters not because it does have back seats. So I move the front seats all the way forward. Why do I do that? So I can access all this area. I'm not going to do it, actually it's doing it automatically. Welcome to the world of luxury sports cars. So see how frustrating this is? It's black and it's already just shows the lint and the dust. Anyhow, so I move this all the way forward so I can get, for example, you can see some debris on the carpet. I can get the tracks, I can detail all this, and this is something a customer would never, 99% of the customers would never know this. They would never look here. So I just do it for my own personal satisfaction to over-deliver. Now you can do it and also make note of it to your customer so that you can let them know what detailing is about. So I start in the back. And as a rule, I start from the top and I work down. So when it comes to a seat, I start up here. Why? Because dust settles, dirt falls. It's called gravity. So therefore, I don't want to start down here and then go up here, and now the dirt from up here could possibly get down here, never mind the overspray from my sprayer. So as a rule, I start top and work down, whether it's on the inside or outside. And when it comes to maintenance detailing, a lot of it is just dust. So I use my all-purpose cleaner from Meguiar's. All I do, and I'll show you real quickly, is I take a microfiber cloth. I get it damp with water. I wring it out so it's not dripping. I wring it out as tight as I possibly can. Then I spritz both sides of it with my Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner, which has already been diluted down 10:1 for my general cleaning. So now my rag has cleaner on it, and I wipe it down. If there's some spot treatment I have to do, then I break out the scrub brush, my all-purpose cleaner again. I've got my 2 basic dusting brushes, my very soft woman's makeup brush, and my more aggressive or stiffer, long bristled dusting brush that I use for the vents and so forth. So that's what I do, and then I use my Meguiar's Quick Interior Detailer to simply wipe up any residual dust, remove any residue, whether it's water, cleaner, whatever, from the areas that show it, whether it's wood trim, the metal handles, whatever. So I work from the back and I move forward. So now that, let's pretend that the back was done. Now I'm going to move the seat all the way back so that I can access the hardware of the seat completely. Anyhow, so that's what I do. And then once again, as the dash, is I start from the top, and one of the most common places guys miss will be the sun visors. So I'm going to start up here first, and once again work down, dust the top of the dash off, work my way down. Now when it comes to the floor mats, because you're going to use some shampoo down here, you need to allow for drying time. So therefore, that's where you're constantly adjusting and responding based on the bigger picture. In this case, the bigger picture is time. When do you expect to be done with this car, because you want the mats to be done when you're done. Also, weather conditions, humidity, the temperature, all those things, direct sunlight will affect the drying time. As a rule, I do not take the mats out. Most of the time I never take them out, even on a full detail that it's a one-off detail. Certainly not on maintenance detailing. I will merely lift the mats up all the way around and vacuum underneath them, shampoo them in place, so I'm not getting them dirty by putting them out on the ground or having to take the time to lay out a mat and then put these mats on it so the underneath is not laying on the bare asphalt or cement. So I shampoo them. So if I know I have to use a heavier or extra amount of shampoo, I will do that first so that there will be some more, allows for more or additional drying time. So there's always rules, but for every rule there's probably like 10 exceptions to the rule, because ultimately each car is independent. It does not exist in isolation, and therefore you have to respond on a case-by-case basis. Don't forget the center console. Every car is configured differently. You've got ashtrays, you've got the glove box. So everything gets dirty or dusty. Fingerprints, whether it's the control knobs for the radio, the shifters, the turn indicators, just go down the list. So that's how I do the inside. Then I come to the outside. If I'm doing the engine, this is the point where I would do the engine, because the engine is going to get water and it's going to drip down the sides. After the engine is completely done, blown off, and I start it up, and while it's running and completely drying, that's when I start attacking the wheels and the tires and the wheel well areas. This is the wheel well, in case there's any confusion on that. This is what I consider the wheel well lip, okay? So that's what I do next. Then it's a matter of washing the car, and whatever that means to you, that's what you do. Then you clay it, then you wax it. Wait, back up. Before I wax, after I've done the wheels and I've blown them off, I've cleaned the paint off, I've cleaned the rocker panels off, I've cleaned the wheel well lips. It's clayed. The paint is as it should be. That's the point that you're either going to polish it if you're going to polish it, or you wax it if you're going to wax it. So if you're going to polish it, you polish it first. If you're going to wax it, that's where I dress the wheel wells with dressing. I do it then because there's always going to be overspray that floats around in the air, and I don't want that settling on my freshly waxed car. So that's where I will dress the wheel wells. Then I will proceed to do the finish waxing or sealing, you can call it whatever you want. Then I will do the windows inside and out. Then I will dress the tires as the very last step. And when you dress the tires, always make sure you spray the dressing directly into the applicator, literally within an inch to a half an inch from the applicator. Why? So you don't get overspray floating around on your car. Trust me, even when there's no wind, or even when you're inside a building or whatever, it will float around and it will get on your car. So, and at that point, if there's any exterior chrome, I'm going to touch it up. So that's it in a nutshell. From start to finish. I know it's kind of oversimplified, but I just want to take the time to answer the question and hope that that helps. And for all you people that watch the videos, I know there's people that say I drone on too much, but there's been a few people that say, yeah, I've gone back over the video and I found some more information. Well, that's the deal. I'm always going to sprinkle in what I call little nuggets of wisdom and business tips along the way, so you never know what you're going to miss if you fast forward. Now, I get it. I fast forward videos too because I just want to cut to the chase. So if you want to cut to the chase, more power to you. But if you are really trying to learn, I will always sprinkle various pointers and tips along the way, because like I say, it's on the fly, it's not scripted, so things come to my mind. And that's what's cool about shooting on location, is that I'm actually doing it and it reminds me. It's like, oh yeah, this is what I was thinking about last night in the middle of the night that I want to teach the viewers, is this key point, whatever that is. So that's it for today. I'm going to take you guys along for my next trip later on this afternoon, and that will be a different discussion. Okay, a couple more tips. I finished up the Maserati. My customers have left, so I've got a little more discretionary power. So I wanted to shoot this follow-up video. I'm going to edit it with the last one, the Maserati I just did. They're both maintenance details. I see them every 6 weeks. The Maserati usually takes me 2 hours. This Bentley usually takes me about an hour and 15 minutes to start to finish. So it's decent money. I normally charge them I charge them $100 per car. Normally I charge people more than that because I want to see a car at least once a month, not every 6 weeks, but they rarely drive these cars, so they're just in almost immaculate condition when I see them. So I just want to offer a couple pointers. I'm going to take you for a tour as I walk, so come along if you choose. So a couple things I want to highlight. So I get lots of messages, comments, whatever, some private, some on my YouTube page, some through my contact forms on my website. So I want to lay out a couple of things, and I'm just going to walk around this car so you can soak in and marinate in the glory and beauty of this amazing species of British engineering. Actually, I believe the engine and drivetrain are German, and the assembly happens in England. So, as a rule, in my videos, there's a description box. In that description box, there will, as a rule, be a link to one of my websites. Because I have people that call or write in and say, hey, I try to look for this or that. Well, if you look straight above this video in what's called the header of my YouTube page, and I've got a picture of a Ferrari, a side profile. It's got some yellow calipers. That is the header. Down in the right hand corner there is a link to one of my websites. Under any YouTube page, whether it's mine or anyone else's, you have different boxes like about, description, playlist, those kinds of things. So go to the description. I'm pretty sure in my description or my about page there'll be a link to both of my websites. So if you are just starting out in the business, or you're trying to get into the business, as I told one person I had a phone call with today, I don't have time to answer every question, obviously, and I'm going to continue to build my websites and my library of videos to help you guys. And whether you're a car owner, enthusiast, driveway detailer, want to get into the business guy, I cater to a very wide range of people. So do your homework, and by homework what I mean is that go to my websites. For example, pretend you are a customer and you go to my one website, which is about my services, autofetishdetail.com, and investigate. See how I write, see how I talk to my customer in the written form. Look at the introduction. Over on the left is the navigation. Look at the introduction and look at the pricing page. See what I charge. I've got nothing to hide. There's a link. It's called the fine print. So research. There's a question or a FAQ page. Look at that page. Do your homework. You can learn a lot of how to communicate to your customer and the type of customer that I'm trying to attract. The second step is to, well, of course, keep tuning into my videos on this YouTube channel. And then thirdly is go to bestautodetailingtips.com. Each word is hyphenated. In other words, there's a space bar, whatever you want to call it, line, a hyphen in between each of those words. Go to that page and research. Now, will that get you started with everything you need to know? No, but there's so much you can learn there. So at least start with that. And if you do decide to contact me through a private message on YouTube or through my contact page on one of my websites, think about it in advance and keep your questions limited to 1 or 2 so I can respond very quickly and answer your questions. And then we can go back and forth based on my schedule and your schedule, because I'm more than happy to help, and that's what I'm trying to do, but I am extremely limited. I'm extremely busy in my own detailing business, which is the good news for me, less good news for you. Okay, so here's my grand tour of the Bentley GTC, and I hope we have marinated long enough to fully salivate over this glorious dark metallic blue fine piece of engineering. Alrighty then.